We have seen some powerful quirks in My Hero Academia, especially with Deku recently going 100% combined with Aries Rewind. But as we know, Horikoshi loves Spider-Man. And what did we learn from that series?
With great power comes great big booty bitches.
No.
With great power comes great responsibility.
What's up guys, it's Truth Hero, and today we'll be breaking down how Deku will actually avoid the coming Quirk Singularity and possibly restore Mirio Togata as a hero, and maybe even create a few successors of his own. I mean with One For All and the quirks, not like Deku and Uraraka having kids. It's not. Haha. Credit to much of this theory goes to Vocal Pineapple, so thank you to him, but I'd like to expand upon it a bit and give some scenarios on how the My Hero Academia universe could look like in 50 to 100 years. Also, before we just dive in, I'd like to explain what exactly is the whole Quirk Singularity Doomsday theory. The Quirk Singularity theory states that as time progresses and new generations of people are born with a combination of their father and mother's quirks, those new quirks not only fuse together, but they evolve to become more powerful and as a result, are more unstable. Eventually, quirks may evolve to become so complex that individuals may not be able to control them, kind of like how some people in One Punch Man have abilities and powers that make Aries' outbursts look like a joke. In fact, this is the basis for the whole One Punch Man universe is just My Hero Academia in the distant, almost dystopian future. The best evidence of this in My Hero Academia are the children from the provisional license exam. All of them had very strong quirks despite their age, even stronger than say Bakugo when he was younger. But we don't even have to look towards the younger generations. This Doomsday Singularity is already making quirks unstable, and thus they're not completely harmonizing with the user's bodies, as such is the case with Aoyama, whose naval laser quirk leaks out, and the fabulous Frenchman needs a special belt just to contain it. All Might even notes that as Deku is practicing his air blast with One For All, he never had to think about using One For All at 100%. He always had no problem drawing out that full power and only had to tune it down as to not seriously hurt criminals and villains that he was pursuing. This brings us to Deku's current state with One For All and the quirks of the vestiges that inhabit it. Deku already has trouble controlling the power of One For All, so I can't imagine that he would just give it to someone, thus causing a more powerful and unstable version of the One For All quirk to be passed on to some unsuspecting middle school student who just dreams of becoming a hero. He's smart enough not to do that. Good job, All Might. The chosen kid would either explode or turn into a Nomu the second he eats that broccoli hair. Also, My Hero Academia is the story of how Deku will be the strongest and greatest hero, so it's likely that no one would ever obtain a more powerful quirk than him, i.e. One For All with even more stockpiled power than Deku has already. Deku has already reached the point of Quirk Singularity with One For All, so if he were to choose a successor and pass on his quirk, it wouldn't be good. So given this, I don't see Deku picking a successor like Toshinori did him, but I also don't just see Deku dying an old man while still possessing One For All. He's too generous to the heroes of the future. So how does he avoid kids breaking bones while also not letting One For All and its quirks fade into oblivion? Deku will give the One For All quirks to different people, remarkable people who not only have the talent and strength to possess said quirks, but that can be trusted to embody a hero and carry on that message of a symbol of peace. And he'll start with his classmates at UA. An obvious choice would be giving Sero Black Whip, but imagine someone like Shihei Kurohiro with the power of Black Whip. With his quirk Black, he can not only throw these black ropes, but hide in them as well. Even if he's in a situation in a space with light all around where there's no shadows or no black material, he could now create his own with Black Whip and hide in them to fight from. There are of course other choices like giving Tokoyami an emotion-based quirk like Black Whip and then allowing Dark Shadow to run wild with it, or perhaps making sure this emotional quirk goes to someone very grounded like Ibara Shiozaki and letting it enhance her plant abilities with black vines and thorns. Honestly, there are endless possibilities, but let me know down below in the comments, who would you want to receive Black Whip and Float from Deku? And remember, we only know 2 of the vestiges quirks, so this could get fun real fast. But we can all agree that out of all the students in UA, there is one student that deserves to have a quirk more than anyone else, and that is Mirio Togata. Him receiving a quirk from Deku would not only give him a second chance at becoming a hero, but it would also ensure that whatever quirk is passed on would be in good and capable hands. Just imagine it for a second. Deku and All Might are having one of their secret team meetings and Mirio is called in. "Oh, Deku-kun, and All Might is here too? Deku, what did you want to talk to me about?" Deku was like, "Well, Mirio, you really are a good person and hero, and, well, people trust you and you smile. Well, what I mean is, All Might clears his throat and says, "Mirio, the reason we called you here today isn't to talk about your smile or your peaches. We believe we have a way for you to be a hero again." Mirio looks shocked and the episode ends. Cliffhanger. How awesome would that be? How awesome would it be with Mirio having Nana's float quirk? Mirio clearly has a strong body to accommodate any new quirk, and with Mirio's battle instincts even without a quirk, like how he fought Chisaki one-on-one after losing his, Mirio with float and potentially flying would be an exceptional hero. This is also the right way to restore Mirio. Eri shouldn't just rewind him, we need permanence to the story. Otherwise, the only thing we lost in the Chisaki arc was Sir Night-Eye and a few bumps and bruises to the students and pro heroes. If Eri were to simply rewind Mirio, then it would make it seem like his heroics in the whole Chisaki battle don't even matter. But if Mirio gets a second quirk, one that's perhaps not as strong as his original permeation quirk, it really enforces just how lucky he is to have this second chance at being a hero, and how heroic and determined Mirio has been throughout this entire ordeal of not only losing his quirk, but basically seeing his dreams die. You can take the quirk out of the kid, but you can't take the hero out of the kid. Now some of you may be thinking, but Truth Hero, One for All is one quirk just with multiple abilities inside it. And I don't blame you, I thought this originally as well. But I'm here today to tell you that that's not exactly true. The following contains spoilers for the My Hero Academia Heroes Rising movie, so be warned. When the villain 9 attempts to take Deku's One for All quirk and it starts to transfer to his body, it doesn't completely become his because, as 9 says, there's too many quirks to hold, meaning if One for All were just one quirk with multiple abilities inside it, it would already be his, but since 9 can't take all of Deku's abilities, they are in fact individual quirks. Given that it's possible to take One for All's individual quirks, then perhaps Deku could transfer these vestige quirks to his friends and even other people with the Eat This method. Furthermore, there is a slightly darker possibility. As the personalities and quirks of the vestiges are stored within One for All, some of All for One's personality is in there and maybe even fragments of his quirk All for One. Deku might be able to, in the future, take dangerous quirks away from people, similar to how Aang takes Firelord Ozai's firebending away. This ensures that, for as long as Deku lives, there won't ever be a power to rival One for All and All for One, and there won't be any great evil after Shigaraki since Deku will serve as a benevolent mediator of quirks, as the greatest hero. This leads to two outcomes. Option A is that Deku takes many unstable quirks and gives them to trusting people, and they die with them, thus not passing them on to future generations and having them evolve further and become even more unstable. Option B is more plausible. It's that the government would have a quirk collection program where, in order to just save humanity, people would have to submit to having their quirks taken away so our bodies would remain stable in our future kids and everyone doesn't eventually turn into a Nomu. Personally, I would love this approach because I'm all about those what if the government overstepped its boundaries scenarios. The Liberation Army already wanted no regulations on quirks, and this could perhaps be a great follow-up to My Hero Academia as a series, a future where people are robbed of their quirks for their basic survival, yet powerful groups and elites still have them. For now, no other quirk, not even Aoyama's leaky naval laser, seems as potent and unstable as One for All. Therefore, Deku could ensure that no one else has to suffer his training and trials to adapt their body to the One for All quirk. Deku will become the greatest hero, and perhaps it's because he does defeat the greatest villains, but in my mind, Deku is the last user of One for All. He doesn't pass it on. He gives the quirks away and keeps the stockpiling one to himself, thus no one can ever inherit One for All and become unstable or abuse its power, or be a stronger hero than Deku. Let me know what you guys think. Will Deku pass on the quirks of the vestiges to his friends and UA classmates, and future middle school wannabe heroes, and even restore Mirio with one of these quirks? Comment down below. If you like My Hero Academia content, be sure to join UA today by subscribing, and hit that bell so you never miss a lesson. Until next time, Hero Hopefuls, keep it plus ultra.